So good afternoon, my name is Mark Brown. I am a business coach, hairdresser and businessman of 20 years. Hairdresser, barber, trained, well, it's going on 30 years now. I live in England and I'm doing this video because the problem we have at the moment is that we are in unprecedented times, and I've got a few things that I think you need to know as salon owners or business people, how to manage that, how to mitigate the best that you can. At the moment we have, I think we're on the 18th of March, it's Thursday, and our trade has gone from a fairly healthy couple of grand a week down to a dribble, and right now I'm in an empty salon with hair on the floor and basically no footfall, nothing, and it's going to be like this for a while. So there's a couple of things that we need to look at in terms of being able to survive these unprecedented times, and at the moment you should be looking at survival, and going from survival, looking at then planning and looking at how you're actually going to do things. The first and foremost is, right now, your priority as an employer is your staff and the people that work for you. If you envisage that if you just went through now and laid everyone off or didn't support them as best as you possibly can, if this clears up in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and we don't know how long it's going to be, you're going to find you're in a position where you've got business there and literally the staff may not come back. And certainly one of mine has said, look, if you laid me off for 3 weeks, I'd be out of here. Given what's going on, you need to be asking for help. If you're not asking for help now, well, either you've got a very deep pockets, and that's fine. If you've got deep pockets, go for it. But if you don't, like me, and they're pretty shallow, then you need to ask for help and look for it. And government should be and is introducing things, certainly in the UK, in terms of business grants and loans, and you need to find the information to get yourself in a position to be able to get them as soon as you can and as quickly as you can, without as little fuss as possible. A couple of things that I would be doing right now, and I'm about to go and do that, and I've done it with one business already, and I'm about to do it with my second business. So for information's sake, I run Strongman Moustache. It's a barber salon here in Bristol, very sort of small business, one and a half employees, and literally I'm going through what's called the shutdown phase. So what we're doing is basically making sure we deep clean everything. Now, we are hairdressers and barbers, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to suck eggs, because most of the time we know how to deep clean, and we are generally hospital clean, as I say it. However, there is a barber in my area who thinks that doing that is a way to actually sterilize, and quite frankly, either you need to get out of the industry or you need to shut down, because that's not adequate. You've got to get out the rags, the bleachers, the paper towels. You've got to go over every surface, and you've got to do it properly. I would strongly suggest that you do that, and you do that properly before you shut down. So we have today limited services. I'm probably going to close in a minute. Tomorrow again, limited services and skeleton staff, and the same on Saturday. Those 2 days will be basically making sure that we have a hospital clean environment that is clean before we leave. Clean before we leave means everything. Emptied bins, emptied everything. I would suggest you do a couple of things in terms of that cleaning, and while you're doing that shutdown phase, if you are going to close up, one is turn your water down to just a dribble. Don't turn it completely off, because we have basins that are probably not being looked at inside the internals for quite some time, and if you turn them completely off, when you go to turn them back on, you may spring a leak when you come back. So you want to leave a little bit of pressure in the system. Things like turning your electrics off. I'd turn off your electrics, but keep your salon computer system going. If your computer system is web-based, like we have the wonderful Nearcut guys here in the UK for the barbers, and it's computer-based, so that's up to them. It's on them to keep that up and going, shut down everything in that shop. However, in the other shop we've got, it's not iSalon, it's the other one. Shortcuts, well, there you go. So Shortcuts, iSalon, and a couple of other ones work on SQL databases. Those databases means that they've got to be able to communicate with your hub or your computer to be able to give you the information remotely. You want the information remotely, so keep them going, keep them on, even if you've got to turn the screen off and keep the actual computer going. That will allow you to be able to see what's going on and what's going on. It'll also allow you to go back to your clients, and when this all goes over, your clients will be able to book online. I am going to ignore that phone call because I do know who it is. The next thing you do is, I would be going through my finances. I am going to cancel all of my direct debits. That does not mean I'm not going to pay my bills. That means that the bills that are the priority, and at the moment the priority are the little guys and my insurance. Those bills that I'm paying now are keeping me going. Do not cancel your insurance. Do not go looking for a cheaper quote. You want continuity in your insurance premium. So if you're able to, which, who knows, they're leaning on a force majeure being an act of nature, and they're looking for something physical to happen. So that may pan out to be in our favour, and if it does, if you've cancelled your insurance, you may have cancelled your cover, and therefore a new insurance would also mean the event has already happened and you can't move on from there. I will be going through also prioritising my staff's pay as best as I possibly can. And if you are prioritising your staff pay, for instance, if you've got a payroll of $5,000 and you've only got $3,000 in the bank, one, be honest with your staff. Tell them, I ain't got the cash flow to do this. If that's the case, work it out on a percentage. So you've got 80%, give everyone 80%. And do the best you can until you're in such a time or in such a space financially that you're able to catch that up. And certainly if the grants come through, you may be in that position. I'm also going to write to my landlords. In a very unique position, one of my landlords is a massive pension company, and one of them is a private landlord. The private landlord is sweet. He's a very old mate and he's very good, and he's basically said, pay what you can when you can. The other guys, I'm not sure, and I'm not thinking it's going to be a very pretty answer. So, as they're unprecedented times, ask them to share the pain with you. They may share it, they may give you half off, they may give you 90%, 20%. They may just say, look, we'll put it on hold for a bit. Either way, that's going to help you in the short term. The next thing I would look at is what do you do? We might have a couple of weeks where we're doing nothing. I would suggest that you get your key staff involved and you start planning. And what you need to plan for at the moment is imminent recession. If you're my age, and I've been doing this, I'm 46 now, I've been doing this for 35 years. I started my career in a recession in Australia, in South Australia, quite a deep recession. I started my businesses in a deep recession again, and we went through the 2008-2009 financial crisis, and also we've been going through in the UK 10 years worth of austerity. You've probably got your budgets at the moment are pretty ruthless. You're not spending a lot on anything. However, you need to look at possible changes to your business models and what that looks like. Again, I would just be planning. Plan. Look at how you're going to talk to your clients when they first come back. Communication is obviously the key. How you talk to your staff. Take care of them as best you can. Make sure that you're also safe. I would also suggest this is an extremely stressful time for people in positions like mine. We are effectively looking at, the bottom end of this is that we could end up being bankrupt. And we want to avoid that as much as possible. But if you take that aside, and it's very difficult to get into the mindset of moving forward from here because of what's going on, the mindset moving forward is we may be in a very, very good opportunity to bounce back very, very quickly. If we look at certainly the UK and my area here, most of our festivals and most of our events and most of the things that are happening are actually closed now, probably for about 6 months. We know that Glastonbury, quite sadly, is closed, but this is our advantage. People will have disposable incomes once they're back at work and back going, and people want to feel good. And what are we experts at? We make people feel good. And because we make people feel good, we're going to be a lot higher up the queue when they go to dispose of their incomes. So, stay safe. Remember these things that, plan while you're off. Plan how you're going to get back. Take some time off. Take a day off, turn the phone off. Stop reading the news if you can get away from it, which is very difficult, especially if you're a news junkie like me. And, speak to your family. Spend time with your family. Clear out your sock drawer. Just do something that takes you away from the stress of what's going on at the moment and how it's happening. Secondly, cancel your direct debits so that you can control when the money's going out and how it's going out and who it's going out to. I'm certainly not going to be paying my tax bill, my council tax, and probably a few other bills, but I will, and I stress, you will be paying my insurance cost, and I will most definitely be paying as much as I can the staff that I've got in here, because you need them when it all bounces back. Again, communicate with your staff, do the best that you can. I'll be posting more videos on this and basically from the coaching side of the businesses that I do. And certainly there is a massive amount of information out there. And if you've got some information, make sure it's good, valid information. The last thing we need is sort of like fake news going through as to how this will happen. Just it adds to the stress. So if you've got information, share it as much as you can, and collaborate. We're a brilliant industry, and I love it. I absolutely adore it. But we've got to be in a position to survive, and to do that, we've got to look forward. So, thank you.